Hi everybody, Stabby the Portal Guy with OmegaBit.com here to show you a couple more features about Liferay Portal. Today we're going to talk about layouts, and when you start with a fresh Liferay Portal you sort of get a blank canvas. This is the default public guest layout. It's a great place to set up the default landing page for your website or to serve as a gateway or point of entry for a private facing site. And we're going to talk more about how you can dress the top of this page when we talk about themes, but right now we're going to focus on the basic structure and the layout of the body of the page and how you can do things to manipulate the portlets that are positioned across this main area here. So if I log in as a user that has privilege to control this layout, the first thing I can do is sort of juggle these portlets around the page, and you'll notice that this has got a two-column layout right now. I can remove the portlets by hitting the little X here in the corner, and we don't really need either of these right now. In fact, the sign-in portlet is sort of redundant because when you're not logged in you can get to a sign-in option from this menu up here in the corner. So we'll go ahead and remove that as well, and I can add instead some web content portlets, web content display portlets, which basically represent stuff that we're going to put in different sections of this page. And so I'll drop these in and I can move them around, and you'll notice then that I can use that same two columns that I had to work with before. The other thing I can do is come up to the menu here and go to Layout, Templates, and what that does is brings up a whole set of different sort of default structures that I can use to manipulate the layouts of the portlets that represent content that I'm going to place on my page. And it's important to remember that that content can basically be stripped down to remove all the treatments around the outside of the portlet, so they basically become blocks for content, which can be really useful for structuring a page that looks a little bit less like an enterprise portal, a little bit more like a traditional brand site. But for now, let's just pick a layout here that's got a header and a left and a right column. And I will mention that there's one that's kind of fun to play with a little bit, and I encourage everyone to experiment with the freeform layout. That's where you can actually drag your portlets anywhere on the page and even make them overlap. And when you start to work with content that's got things like transparent layers in it or alpha channels, you can get pretty creative with those to do some neat things with the way that page is structured. In any case, we're going to pick this more sort of traditional layout with a header and a left and a right column, and now I can start to manipulate the page a little bit more creatively. I can put one on the left and the right column, and I have a top part, and there are other layouts that include a footer, and in fact there's one portlet that's worth playing with a little bit called nested portlets. And just as a rule, so that you don't overcomplicate any given layout, I encourage everybody to use it sort of sparingly. But one of the things that's neat about the nested portlet is that it will let me take other portlets and drop them in and basically split a column. And it's a little tricky, a little finicky sometimes to get it to cooperate, but it's a good one to use if you want to really sort of slice and dice the layout into more sophisticated structures than are available right out of the can. And it's also important to remember that I can do things like turn off the dressing in these portlets. All of this treatment around the edges here can go away so that the content that we drop inside of them is just the meat. And we're going to talk more about how we add content in a little bit. One other point of interest though concerning layouts is that if you're an administrator in an instance of the main instance of a portal, and for OmegaBit customers that would be a Delta or an Epsilon installation, then what you can do is go to the control panel, and when you go to plugins installation, there's a button down at the bottom under server, plugins installation, and then install more portlets, and this should give you a good view into other layout templates that are available through the community that can be useful to add additional structure to your portal. And so you can drill down and take a look at how the structures work. This is a pretty sophisticated one, and just hit install to add it to your portal. If you're a Gamma customer, you can give us a ring and we'll add it for you. By the way, if you're looking for a place to host your Liferay, we'd love to be the home for you. Please contact us at www.omegabit.com or call us at 877-411